just like Mickey Romance. We had the goal since training camp to give Chicago a Super Bowl champ. And we're not doing this because we're greedy. The Bears are doing it to feed the needy. We didn't come here to look for trouble. We just come here to do the Super Bowl shuffle.
This is Speedy Willie, and I'm world class. I like running, but I love to get the pass. I practice all day and dance all night. I gotta get ready for the Sunday fight. Now, I'm as smooth as a chocolate swirl. I dance a little funky, so watch me, girl. There's no one here that does it like me. My Super Bowl shuffle will set you free.
I'm Samurai Mike, I stop 'em cold. Part of the defense, big and bold. I've been jamming for quite a while, doing what's right and setting the style. Give me a chance, I'll rock you good. Nobody messing in my neighborhood. I didn't come here looking for trouble. I just came to do the Super Bowl shuffle.
We are the Bears shuffling crew, shuffling on down, doing it for you. We're so bad, we know it's good. Blowing your mind like a nuclear wood. You know we're just strutting for fun, strutting our stuff for everyone. We're not here to start no trouble. We're just here to do the Super Bowl shuffle.
You hear me?
Yeah, I hear you. We going out to the Super Bowl shuffle.
I'm the Punky QB known as McMahon.
What it do? What it do?
What it do? What's up with you? How you doing?
Going on, player. How the weekend treat you?
Just chilling, man. I mean, hey, I've been doing good. I've been doing good. How you been?
Like I said, I've been hanging in there, boy. You know how it is. That everyday life thing. 24/7,
Right.
not 9 to 5 type shit. You know? Now, all right. Now, a few things we're going to touch on for anybody just tuning in right now. This is a Bears Ravens podcast, you know? Got my man DJ Bill from Flock Nation.
Yeah, we live over on Flock Nation Speaks too. We everywhere tonight, everywhere. we as they say, everywhere. We everywhere.
That's what's up. We're gonna get into this first. What you want to tackle first?
Let's see. What's the most recent news y'all done got over there? Y'all been quiet. The Bears been quiet over there. They've been hushed. They've been hushed over there.
We got plenty going on though.
Y'all had all this excitement coming up in the before the draft and everything with the trades and stuff, but now y'all done got quiet. How y'all looking at OTAs? You been checking out any of it?
Yeah, I follow all OTA. Like I follow everything from. I don't follow shit like after the Super Bowl and all that, or the draft. Like as soon as the draft ends, then I'm in, because that's all the players right there that they're gonna be getting. Like anybody coming later, just a scraggle on. You know what I'm saying? So all the draft picks in, all the signings in, now I'm in. You know what I'm saying, dog? Because I don't like getting attached to motherfuckers, bro.
It's funny because right now I feel like right now is the time you can't get too attached to anybody. Right?
Yeah.
Like I mean, of course, you know your guys who gonna be there, but like especially like some of the rookies, some of the undrafted guys that you might, maybe you've seen in college or you seen in a game or two or something like that. Like you can't get too attached because I mean you never know who gonna hit the 50.
Exactly, bro. Yeah. That's why I try to wait as long as I can. Now I know it's what like 90 right now. I know most of these motherfuckers ain't gonna be here. You know what I'm saying? So the ones that make the 90-man roster, usually you can start figuring out who gonna be on your squad and shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well, once you get to the preseason, because right now with like OTAs and stuff, like you just don't know. You kind of ain't nobody really in pads. Everybody's still learning. If you got a new coach, new offensive coordinator like us, you learning new plays. So you trying to figure out like you got to take like especially right now these early OTAs, voluntary OTAs. You kind of got to take it with a grain of salt because I mean even the Ravens they sitting here learning a whole new offensive scheme with all new players. They ain't got Odell ain't came to camp yet.
I was just about to ask you. He came to that motherfucker. Just about to ask you that. So Odell ain't been there yet.
No, he ain't been there yet. I think he's still rehabbing, if I'm not mistaken. He's still trying to get back to where he want to be. Um, I'm sure they got the playbook to him. With technology now, they probably got dang on playbook to read itself out to you or something at this point.
Uh-huh. But I don't know that I don't know, bro. All right, Lamar Jackson, he came in. He missed what, 1 day, 2 days?
He missed a couple days. But it's funny because I think especially the voluntary OTAs. It's two things that I got thoughts about on the voluntary OTAs because number one, Lamar Jackson was working with Nelson Aguilar outside of the voluntary OTAs, so he wasn't at the voluntary OTAs, but he was working with Nelson Aguilar, one of his new receivers. Number two, the other thing that gets me about it too is I was listening to the Raw Room, I think, with who's it? Darren Bates, I think, is one of the hosts of that show. It's a pretty cool little podcast on YouTube. He used to play for a couple teams, and it was funny because he was talking and he was like, it's him and his co-host. He was like, voluntary is voluntary. Like when they say voluntary, like I don't know why people read so much in the voluntary. You can be doing whatever you need to be doing. I'm not showing up until it's time to play. And it was actually, I can't remember who the guy's name was, but he was a more like Darren Bates was pretty good. He was okay, but it was a more prominent player that everybody know. I want to believe it wasn't Delaney Walker. It might have been. I can't remember right off, but very interesting. Like because a lot of people are so like up in arms about voluntary OTAs and people not showing up, but like once they get to like mandatory OTAs, then like we should be worried about them showing up. But
I don't know.
Voluntary OTAs, I ain't worried about voluntary.
I don't know. I look at. I don't know, man. I look at it different. Maybe because my quarterback young, right? I just want everybody there now. Like every minute, any time to do it, be here, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like they learning. Wait, last year he was learning offense. Now it's more. You know what I'm saying? They more. You got a feel for the offense now. You know what I'm saying? Now it's more of the new players getting attached to everything. You know what I'm saying? If you new and not showing up, that's some bullshit. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. That's why it'd probably be different for you and with the Ravens because he been in for a while. But this is a new offense though.
Yeah. Well, and I mean, my thing is with the whole, the new offense and everything. I mean, you ain't even really running plays yet. You kind of still like getting into shape. Like you still learning the playbook, but they're gonna get you the playbook. Like all the money they got, in the NFL, they're gonna get you the playbook somehow. I mean, they'll microchip that thing and something. They're gonna get you the playbook. So like it's just, I understand what you're saying when coming down to like, you want to see, Justin Fields there, and you want to see, because he got, he got this new crew of guys, he got to kind of get that chemistry with. But it makes me wonder though too, because like I've seen a lot of players not show up to voluntary OTAs. They did, show up to the mandatory ones, but not show up and then come back and they was huge. Like they bulked up or whatever. I don't know if it's like a limit on how much you can lift during voluntary OTAs or something like that. And that's why players do that.
And some people want to do more than they allow you to do while you're there. You know what I'm saying? But they don't tell the team that. Like, for example, motherfucker, offensive line we just signed, he ain't been here. So they asked the motherfucking coach, you worried about that? You know what's going on? He's like, you need to ask him. So to me, that tells me he don't know why he ain't here. You feel me? He not here. That's all I can tell you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I can get it if you reach out to the coach and be like, hey, look, this day such and such, I ain't gonna be able to make it on that one because we're doing this and that. But if they don't say nothing and just look at it, that's voluntary anyway. I gotta tell this motherfucker that. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. That's probably how most of them look at it. Like, it's voluntary anyway. I gotta tell this nigga shit. I can go do me.
Yeah. Well, and it's interesting because I don't know the whole like breakdown of what, like, the voluntary OTAs versus like the mandatory minicamp and stuff, and like how things change. Like I wish I knew, and maybe I'll reach out to somebody or see if I can find somebody who knows the ins and outs of that, because I think year after year, I know for a fact I do it. Year after year, like, voluntary OTAs come and minicamp comes and, all that, right before the preseason and whatnot. And I don't be knowing what's going on. I just know what the names is and be like, I would love to hear like, what's the difference between, because I don't really know. I mean, I'm sure I I can probably Google it real quick and see. But it's just interesting, to see like, how things kind of change throughout the offseason.
I think the mandatory joint, if you miss that, you get fined.
Yeah, you get fined for that. But like, what different drills and stuff are they doing on one or the other?
The voluntary joints is only like 7-on-7s. You can't get physical about it.
Yeah, I don't think you can now either, right?
No, you just do 7-on-7s. You can do passing drills.
Yeah. So I mean, it's good to like, continue to get in your rhythm and get yourself kind of where you want to be, and get some chemistry with your guys. Let them run.
That's what I want. That's all I want them to get chemistry together.
Yeah, because I mean, even like Bateman isn't running 7-on-7s, I don't think, but he's still like using the jugs machine and stuff like that. Like he's still doing stuff at voluntary OTAs. He's just not healthy enough, I think, to do the 7-on-7s and whatnot.
Man, 17 games is a long time, right?
It is.
So I just want them to hit the ground running. I want the first game. In fact, let's go on the schedules real quick. Let's go on your schedule, see what's going on. So your first joint is this the right schedule first?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
All right. Y'all first game is with the Texans. So y'all get to come out with a featherweight.
It's interesting. This the Ravens Texans game is interesting because you get a rookie quarterback in week 1, right? CJ Stroud, a guy with a little bit of a chip on his shoulder, I would say. But he's gonna get a chance to really like how guys come out and they just go off from day one. If he goes off against this defense, then we're gonna know he's for real. But I expect the Ravens defense to torment him and make him really uncomfortable, in the pocket, out the pocket, whatever. I mean,
now one thing about the Ravens I haven't noticed over no years, y'all don't have no pass rush now.
Yeah, see,
y'all stout defense against the run and everything, but freshman the quarterback, I ain't never seen none of that.
Yeah, last year was better. I feel like last year got better. I think they're gonna add one of these veteran pass rushers. See, because when I look at the depth chart, like for the Ravens, David Ojabo wasn't fully healthy until I don't think he was fully healthy at any point because he was coming off a torn Achilles, so he wasn't even really healthy last year. So to get him back at 100%, that should help it. Owe, I don't know what the heck happened to him. I hope he comes back. I hope he gets back to where he need to be, but. We'll see about that one. But anyway, Tyus Bowser, I think, is a good pass rusher. Broderick Washington, Metabike, all those guys, the big boys down, big boys up front. I think all of those are good. I think they still need some depth at that position, but I think last year was a step in the right direction because Justin Houston played well last year, even though he ain't on the team no more. But he might come back. I think they're gonna add another guy though. I think they'll add another veteran pass rusher, whether it be Clowney's still out there, and Ngakoue, who I hope they add because I just think he's got more upside than any of the other guys that's out there right now. I know Leonard Floyd went to the Bills today, but
it's funny because that shows you that all fan bases look for the same players, right? Our fan base in the Chicago Bears want those players you just named feel like it's their player and shit. Nobody else is looking for them but them. Yeah. And shit. Like, bruh, other people need these motherfuckers too.
Well, and it's funny because with the defense, like the thing about it is, even with not the greatest pass rush in the world last year, they still were a really good defense, like in terms of bend but don't break, in terms of turning people over. That's the thing about it. Even if they ain't got the pass rush, they still last year they got back to turning people over, which before they weren't doing a very good job at. Before they like the last couple years before that, where they had injuries and everything, they weren't turning people over at all. So they got back to that last year.
Y'all should be 3-0, bro.
Yeah,
you got Texans. Yeah. Who is that? Cleveland?
That's the Bengals, which is a hard game.
Oh,
but remember, it's the Bengals in week 2, and I think
you got them again the next following week.
Yeah, they see, but you think about it though, like the Bengals always start slow. It feels like they don't never really get off. They don't hit the ground running ever. Like they always start slow. So a week 2 game against the Bengals could easily be a win. It'll be a tough one. But it could easily, on the road against the Bengals on top of that, and then to have them come back to the bank later on in the season, I think that's one the Ravens kind of need to kind of get out ahead of the AFC North race.
That's what I mean. If y'all was beat Texans, squeak out that Bengals, bless you.
That's what I said.
Squeak out that Bengals joint, and then maybe, and y'all should beat the Colts too. That's a rookie quarterback.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, I can see them going 4-0 because Deshaun Watson going to be back to his form about 4 weeks in. You know what I'm saying?
Nice. Yeah.
But I think honestly, this is just my opinion. I think people are forgetting about the Browns. I think people are forgetting how much of a dog Deshaun Watson really is.
Hell yeah.
I know like everything has been kind of, wishy-washy with all this, the situation and everything last year and the suspension and stuff like that, and him coming back and being slow and sluggish because he hadn't played in a year and a half. But he's talking about with a real offseason, with the guys that he's got around him and the potential to bring somebody else on. Like, let's just say they bring DeAndre Hopkins on. I think they become that much more dangerous. Because he's still out there floating about, and we'll see where he goes. But I think I could see 4-0 out of these. I could see at worst 2-2, but I think it'll be 3-1 at worst. I think it'll be 3-1 at worst because the Bengals is going to be a tough one. But like I said, it's early. Same thing with the Browns. I think the Browns are going to be tough, but it's early.
Yeah, I don't know. After those first 3-4, it gets a little rocky. But none of these teams are a high function. You know what I'm saying? Team that now San Francisco may be a problem, but that's way down in week 16 somewhere.
Yeah, you hope that you then gelled a little bit because if you look at it, right?
Look, if you step back and look at it, you might lose one of those Bengals joints, right?
Yeah, and then the Steelers always tough too, right?
Seattle might be a problem, but after that, y'all gonna be at least 4 wins by week 11. 4 losses by week 11, 12.
You think we'd be at least at 4 losses? You talking about at most? Like you saying, like worst case scenario,
10-4 by that time, something like that.
Well, because I think they could go.
Still might be leading the division too by that time.
I think they could go 4-0 in the first 4 weeks. The Steelers will be tough on the road early, but I think once again, the Ravens seem to be a good early team. So I think that, you could win that one. You could win the Titans in London, which that's kind of a trap game because it's in London too.
Oh, y'all way on London with this shit.
Yeah. And then the Lions should be a win, but it'll be a tough one too. The Cardinals should be a win because ain't no telling what Kyler Murray going to be doing by then. Just because he's still going to be healing from the ACL, I think. And then because, he tore his ACL so late in the season. Seattle's, kind of like you said, Seattle's tough. But at the same time, even though Seattle is tough, you got, what is Geno Smith going to even do? Right? Like, he had a good year last year, but was anybody really prepared for him to have a good year last year? So can he mirror that? Can he come back from that? We'll see.
They had a nice running back too. The defense was nice.
Now we got 10, one 11, back home. 10, 11, 12, that's a gauntlet right there, right? You got the Browns you got Deshaun Watson in the Browns, you got Joe Burrow in the Bengals, you got Justin Herbert in the Chargers. That's a gauntlet right there, right? I can see them going 1-3 or 3-0 in that stretch because
y'all got a good bye time though on week 13.
Yeah, it's kind of later than usual.
It depends on where y'all at. This will be a good time to take a break.
Yeah, well, and I think that week 10 through 12 is going to tell a lot about how good the Ravens are when it comes to like finishing games and stuff too, because those games are going to be close. All 3 of them more than likely, right? I know a couple years ago the Ravens blew out the Chargers in 2019, if I'm not mistaken. No, 2020. But still, it's one of those things. It's up and the thing about the schedule this early in the season is you really don't know. You really do think you can go.
What's your prediction? What's your record?
I think I did a show on the schedule when it first came out, and I think the ceiling really is 15-2. something like that. But I think like I think at worst 6 losses. I would say at worst, because I mean you got some tough division games in there. I think the Ravens are better than the Chargers, right? I mean I think the Chargers are hyped up a lot, but I think the Ravens are better than them. And I think the defense is, the defense will show that, right? And it depends too on, because the hard part about early on in the season is you once again playing with a team that has a whole new offensive scheme. So how quickly are you going to be able to mold into that?
Is the record you finishing with though?
I mean. I mean, don't get me wrong. That's a tough. It's tough to even say it, but I think at worst, between 4 and 6 losses. I think at worst.
That's what I was thinking. More of a That's what I was thinking.
I think that's at worst. But I'm saying like I said, I think that's the ceiling, right? I think the ceiling is 2 losses, right? Somewhere within the division, more than likely. Right, either one in the division or you got that tough stretch of like San Francisco. I think LA is going to be back to where they need to be this year. I think injuries hurt them last year too. A little bit of a Super Bowl hangover hurt them too. Like y'all
gonna realize. First of all, y'all realize y'all paid too much money for what's his name, bro? Roquan Smith.
I don't think so, because I mean, the defense gonna be elite as long as they figure out. Look, here's the thing: they got 2 places of need on the defense, and really, it might be one. It might just be edge rusher. I might say they have a need at corner because I want Marcus Peters back, but I mean, edge rusher is the biggest thing and kind of the biggest question mark in general. Whether they go in with the guys they got right now or they add another piece or two, edge rusher is going to be the biggest kind of concern going in because they ain't had a pass rush in the last couple of years, kind of like you said earlier in the show. But I mean. Kind of like what I said it on my show. I think it was last night. One of the things about the Ravens is they're gonna be good on defense. Like I'm not worried about what they're gonna do on defense. I'm not worried about what they're gonna do on offense, really. But like when it comes down, like if I gotta lean in on the defense to be good, I gotta lean in on the corners to play their assignments and actually make plays and commit turnovers. Like I'm not worried about the defense and what the defense is going to do. I don't care who you set up, against us, right? I think the defense is going to be good regardless. Now the offense is going to take some time to mesh, I think. That don't mean they won't come out firing. They came out with a new offensive coordinator in 2019 and came out firing. So it's not like they wouldn't, I don't think they won't come out firing, but it could take some time to like mesh and get up to the point of potentially being a top offense in the league.
But this offense is supposed to put him strictly in the pocket now, right?
From what I'm seeing, from what I'm hearing, this offense is supposed to take. So let me put it like this: it's supposed to take advantage of what's given to you by the defense, but not overwork Lamar via his legs, right? Because that's been the issue the last couple of seasons, and that's probably been the reason behind some of the injuries too, right? Is you putting the team on his back, you working in the depth, and we, from what I've seen from Todd Monken, from what he did at Tampa Bay, from what he did at Cleveland, from what he did at Georgia, in those last 2 national championship teams, from what I've seen from him is he gonna use everybody, like if it's me and you out there, he gonna use us. Right, whatever we good at, you know what I'm saying. He gonna find it. He gonna exploit it in the defense, and he gonna use it. And if that means less running for Lamar, that's probably a good thing because it's not because we act like you don't have 2 good running backs in J.K. Dobbins and Gus Edwards. Like you got 2 good running backs. Lamar Jackson does not need to be the leading rusher. He can be electrifying as a rusher when you need him to be, but this is the same guy that led the league in touchdown passes with receivers that I can't even name right now. So.
He did
in a run first system.
So we're gonna see, because now they're gonna put him in their pocket. Everybody been trying to say he can't throw from the pocket. I think we'll find out this year for sure.
I mean, yeah, we gonna find out. If
the 5th week they switched it back to running him around everywhere, that means that didn't work.
I don't see that happening though, because I mean we've seen him be special in the pocket.
And I don't think this coordinator even know he don't do running quarterback things. That's not his his thing.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, I mean, Lamar wants to throw the ball more, right? He said that
All right.
since 2019, right? Since after that year when he led the league in touchdown passes, he said, I want to, I do want to throw more. I want to, I know I'm athletic. I know I can make a play with my legs, but I don't want that to be the end all be all because I know I can do that.
Now you heard what he said, right? He want to throw for 6,000.
Yeah, I know. I mean,
he serious?
look, you got, I think 6,000 is a lofty goal, but if anybody
You
gonna do
throwing
it,
the shit out of that joke, bro.
I put my money on Lamar. But I think too, like
That's the Rams back in the day.
6,000 is tough because yes, you got the extra game, but that extra game don't give you but so much. I mean,
Like another 80 yards, 100 yards, maybe.
yeah, like I mean, even if you throw, I can't remember what I looked up that what 6,000 yards a game was. 6,000 yards a game.
Gotta at least
6,000 yards was like 320, I think, or something like that. I had did the math on it before. It was like 320. Honestly, it don't sound like nothing crazy when you look at the way guys
every game though.
But every game that's tough, especially in a division like you in with a defensive division, especially with the Bengals, the Browns, the
weather
Steelers.
ain't all that cute where you at either.
Yeah,
that's why when everybody try to get my man to throw for 4,000 yards, I'm like, bro, we in Chicago, first of all. When the hell, if he hurry up and try to throw a whole lot of them before the winter time, because goddamn, he ain't throwing all that shit in the winter, man. That's not who we are. You know what I'm saying? Now, as you can see, when the Bears come out the box, who we got? Green Bay Packers.
Is it time? Is the time y'all gonna turn it around against Green Bay?
Oh my goodness, I can't wait. That's God. Green Bay Packers, 325, baby. First game out the box. We're gonna knock them off. That's gonna set our season straight right there. We're gonna be feeling good off the break. No more new offense. That's out the way. You know what I'm saying, dog? We lost Montgomery, though. He's a bitch ass. I can't wait till we play. Where Detroit at? Oh man, I can't wait till we get a hold of him, boy. Woo, woo, woo. I can't wait. Montgomery, Montgomery left, right?
He might run wild on y'all Hulkamania style.
Oh, I can't wait till we get our hands on him, bro. We got Edmonds from the Bills. You know that, right? The middle linebacker. Yeah. Oh my God, I can't wait. Oh man, this season, I'm trying to tell you. Then we're gonna get Tampa Bay when you got who the fuck the quarterback?
Baker or
Baker Mayfield,
Trask,
bro.
I think.
And then that whopper in the third week is what we've been looking for, baby. Kansas City Chiefs. Here we come, baby. After we be 2-0, we be ready for this one, right? This will be one we want.
I don't know, Rabbit. So you overlooking that week 2 Tampa Bay game.
I am.
Let me tell you why.
It's overlooked.
Because if you put Baker in the right situation, you never know now. You never know. You never know. He might put some wins together. You put Baker with Chris Godwin, Mike Evans, and Russell Gage and them boys. I mean, I don't know what they're gonna do at running back, but whatever,
I don't know. Might put some pressure on his man. He gonna throw picks, bro. He gonna give us some picks. He gonna give us some picks, bro. I know he is. Yeah.
You know what? Like I said, like my thing is, I got respect for Baker. I know a lot of Ravens fans like to downplay Baker, but I watched Baker dot the Ravens defense up as good as they supposed to be plenty of times. So you know what?
That's
true. Baker got my respect.
I don't know. It's just like he don't have no. He's not scared to throw the shit, right? He'll throw it. He'll just sling the motherfucker. And that's why I say we're going to pick his ass off smoothly. Then we're going to slide into Denver with the chaos over there. And they think they straighten it out. I put Peyton in there. Nope.
Oh, they about to be back.
Wait.
You don't think Denver going to be back this year?
Why?
That's a whole another show I want to have about the AFC and how
Denver now can be better. What?
Because my thing is this. Number one, they got a new coach, right? Number two, Russ look like he in better shape. Number three, there's no way that Denver just is gonna roll over for 2 years in a row like that. Like with Russell Wilson, with a good head coach. I mean that's all you need.
I ain't got them being funky like they was last year, but they're not gonna be just world beaters just out the blue.
I mean,
They didn't spend a lot of money this offseason though.
they could be honestly they could be as good as Russ was with the Seahawks. Maybe not Super Bowl good per se, but they could be like later in Russ's career, like last couple of years Seahawks, where like they're competitive, but they may not go too far in the playoffs. But and some of that's got to do with their division. I mean, look who they got to play: Kansas City. We'll see what Oakland do, but Vegas, right? But Kansas City and the Chargers, right? That's tough to play against twice a year.
True. I don't know. And then, they coming at our joint, we're gonna blow their ass out, bro. I'm trying to tell you. But we're gonna be at Tampa Bay and at Kansas City, so that's gonna be tough.
Yeah.
And then we're gonna go at Washington. I'm damn sure gonna be at that game. You best to believe that the Justin Fields jersey will be in the crowd, baby. When they bring that ass to DC. Well, Maryland. Hey, they played I said Redskins. Did I say Redskins? I ain't
No,
say that.
you did. You just said you didn't say a team, I don't think.
The Commanders, baby. When they get to DC, I can't wait. And that's a Sunday game. Nope. Oh, it's a Thursday night.
You gotta take off work.
Oh, that's a Thursday night. Watch. I'm at that joint regardless, Justin. I'm there, baby.
You gotta take off work on that one so you can get
You'll see your jersey in the crowd, baby.
How far are you from that? How far are you from FedEx?
About 15 minutes.
Oh man! Oh, you ain't gotta take off work at all. You can get off work and get through the traffic.
Yeah, we going down that joint tailgating down that bitch. What's wrong with you? What about the tailgate? I'll probably be the only nigga with the Bears uniform, but no problem. You know what I'm saying? All Commanders around. We don't care. But that's gonna be. Oh yeah, it's gonna be at night. I didn't even know it's at night. I'm gonna be there, baby. That's my first night game too. I can't wait. I'm gonna get them tickets next month. This month. That joint ain't till week 5 and shit. That should jump on those joints next month ASAP. Them joints probably be higher by the time that joint comes. But I'm gonna be there regardless. To Minnesota, Las Vegas. We never played them. I ain't played them in a while. That's gonna be a nice one. First,
Jimmy G live Raiders. We'll see what the new look Raiders.
Jimmy
look
G
like.
is there now, yeah. And plus we play. The Chargers. What's wrong with them, bro? They supposed to be better than this. Remember they had picked up my man on defensive end and all these players.
Yeah.
Then what happened?
I
know they released Khalil Mack. I know he ain't playing anymore. I don't think.
I think he still is on there.
Oh, okay.
I think he is, but I don't know. The Chargers are just one of those teams that just can't get it done when they need to get it done. Right? They can do a lot of things, and they just underwhelming. I mean, the thing is, I say they can't get it done when it's time to get it done, but they can't get it done before it's time to get it done. They sneak into the playoffs, and then they were literally given the playoff game against the Jaguars and still couldn't win it. So they're just underwhelming.
Keep crowning the quarterback, and he haven't done nothing.
That's true.
He gets crowned ASAP. Ridiculous, bro.
That's true, but you got to remember, winning ain't a quarterback stat till they want to use it against you.
No bullshit. That's no bullshit. But we ain't played New Orleans in a while. We about to go to New Orleans this year. That's what's up. Can't wait for that. Carolina, we definitely need them to lose and lose all their games.
Oh no, y'all say
we got their pick, their first round pick.
Look, that's gonna be an interesting one because DJ Moore gonna be kind of in a little revenge game, and then you know Bryce Young gonna want to show out against y'all.
God damn it, that's another Thursday night. Hey, they love the Bears. Another Thursday night, bro. And damn, when I'm looking at it now, that Chargers game is a Sunday night. Damn, we priming it up nights. Damn, we getting it. Hey, that's the Justin Field effect, baby. They got us on prime, timing it up like shit. And these 325 joints, that's us too. That's gonna be on TV watch. They love us, bro. Then we're gonna go to Detroit. I can't wait till we spank that ass. We owe them, bro. I can't wait. Because everybody talking about they gonna do the damn thing. I can't wait till we spank their ass for sure. Especially with motherfucking Montgomery there. Then we go to Minnesota and spank their ass. Then we're gonna take a bye like y'all and relax. You know what I'm saying, dog?
We got a bye week on the same week.
Yep, we're gonna relax. And in these last 5 games, we're gonna burn their ass up, bro. You know what I'm saying? Stretch the last stretch. Then we play Atlanta, Green Bay, our first game and our last game, bro. Week 18, Green Bay. Who the hell put our shit together? That game probably be meaningless, bro. But no problem. Atlanta and Arizona. I ain't seen Arizona in a while, so that's gonna be a nice one too. So it's a few teams I ain't seen in a while. Kansas City, Chargers, and I ain't never played the Raiders. So I'm gonna love this season like shit. As long as we beat though. As long as we win, you know what I'm saying? Fuck wrong with you. Since you got a new motherfucker offensive coordinator, right?
Yeah.
It's the same GM, right? What's his name?
DeCosta, same GM, same GM.
So I want to know by me watching my team, right, rebuilding and growing, doing a different team. This is my first time ever seeing this and watching this different shit. You get rid of players and bring, you know what I'm saying, just rebuild shit. This is my first time ever seeing this happen. So I want to know, right?
Mm-hmm.
The Ravens. Did y'all ever go through a rebuild?
Not. I don't think. I wouldn't say like a full
everything down type shit.
Yeah, I don't know if it was necessarily a full rebuild because I know when they came into the league in '96, it was a little bit of a struggle, but then they kind of they found their way pretty quick with the Super Bowl in 2000, and then I mean they had some years, some down years from that point until about the way they was kind of competitive. But I think they always been kind of either middle of the pack or really good. Because of course, 2008 when Joe came in and the success they had there, and then they had kind of those down years after the Super Bowl once again. They had those down years. It was one year where they was injury riddled and they lost a bunch of games. But not really necessarily a rebuild where you kind of get your franchise quarterback because of it, and you kind of strip the team out and you get a whole new coach because of it. I don't think it's
that's
one of them. Because even when Brian Billick was fired or let go, or however you want to say it, parted ways with, however you want to say it, it wasn't necessarily. I don't think it was because he had a bad season. I think they was ready for something new in 2008. Because they knew they was going to grab a quarterback. But I mean, not necessarily because I mean, even still, they kind of had some mini rebuilds, I guess, right? Where after the Super Bowl, they can't get over the hump. And then they have to make some changes at quarterback or whatever, with the Joe and Lamar Jackson switch and all that. But I mean, I mean, the worst rebuild I didn't seen in my sports fandom is Philadelphia. And the whole 10-year, 40-year process, it feels like. So.
Now, this is my first time really watching a team go from firing a coach, right, bringing a coach and a GM, right, get rid of the whole roster. There's only 4 people left on that roster.
Yeah.
And it's this is my first time seeing this. And I'm watching as they have philosophies, right? And I want to ask you, the coach have a philosophy that what type of player he wants. And the GM gets those kind of players and shit. He wants long athletic players. So the GM be drafting and the free agent get those players. I want to know, have you sitting there watching the Ravens, are they lockstep like that, or they just be getting players? Is it a philosophy thing? Is it they just get good player or what?
No, I think it's definitely a philosophy thing, and I think there can be many layers to that kind of onion, because you got the Ravens' philosophy of defense first, offense second. Where they gonna stack up on the defensive players, in the first round when it comes to free agency, and then they're gonna kind of just, figure it out on offense, on the other side.
So there's no philosophy on individual players on their size or.
Well, I'll say this. I definitely think there's a philosophy that the Ravens have with the players that they want. I mean, In the past, I think it was kind of. I think in the past before John Harbaugh, they kind of wanted. It might not have been a size speed type factor, but they wanted guys with a little bit of an edge, right? They wanted guys with a little bit of a chip on them shoulder, guys that could, showcase that kind of play like a Raven thing. I think within the John Harbaugh era, I think that's kind of changed. They don't want necessarily those guys per se. But I will say when it comes to the GM, because I think, I feel like sometimes the GM gets a lot of criticism based off of trying to draft for the coaches that that are around him. The Ravens have always been a defensive first philosophy. Ozzie was the same way. He retires. Eric DeCosta does the same thing. He gets defense because that's what the Ravens are built on, defense and running game, not the passing game, as you've seen in the past, in the last 5 years. I mean, last 25 years. So, I think that's the other thing about it too, because I feel like Eric DeCosta drafts for the guys, for the coaches that he has around him. For Greg Roman, he got him every tight end you could ever hope for, because that's what Greg Roman wanted. He wanted tight ends. He wanted 3 tight end sets. He wanted his fullback out there. He wanted limited opportunities for the wide receivers and stuff like that. So he built around that. I feel like now the Ravens are getting more into like the positionless football when it comes to especially the defense, right? They're getting guys like Trenton Simpson and guys like Kyle Hamilton, who may not necessarily excel at safety for Hamilton or linebacker for Simpson, but at the same time, they can be good in a variety of different areas. You can plug and play them. You can put, Trenton Simpson, you can make him rush the pass every once in a while. You can have him come off the edge sometimes, right? Or you can have him run around in coverage. Same thing with, and it's kind of like Roquan too. Roquan's fast enough to where you can put him in, different places if you need to. He can recognize the play. He can diagnose exactly where things need to go, where things are going to go. Kyle Hamilton, a lot of people are concerned about his longevity or ability to adjust as a safety, to the NFL game, because a lot of last year he spent in the box, right? He spent in the box as a box safety, as a sub linebacker or something like that. So I think when it comes to the philosophies and everything, I feel like Eric DeCosta drafts for the guys that he has around him, because Todd Monken comes in, Eric DeCosta goes and he grabs OBJ. He goes and he grabs Zay Flowers, right, to help out Todd Monken, because that's what Todd Monken wants, weapons. Todd Monken comes from systems where, except for Georgia, of course, but he comes from systems where he's got Chris Godwin and Mike Evans and Gronkowski and all these guys. He comes from, probably was OJ Howard back then and those guys, right? He has David Njoku and he has OBJ and he has Jarvis Landry, right? He has, maybe Hollywood Higgins back then too. Like, he has all of these guys. I think Eric DeCosta definitely, I think he drafts and picks up guys based off of the coaching staff, and sometimes that bites him in the butt, right? That's kind of loyalty to a fault. That bites him in the butt sometimes, because if I go and draft a third fullback because you want a third fullback, and we already got 2 really good fullbacks, tight ends, right? We already got 2 really good tight ends, then I look like an idiot because I should have drafted a wide receiver after I got rid of Hollywood Brown. But
I was thinking about the philosophy thing is new to me, because as watching them come in and get rid of player after player, the whole front line, the whole defensive line, right? So what they're looking for is linky, long players. That's a philosophy they have, right? Long, tall. Now, 1 year later, since they've been in 18 months, every lineman is on the roster is 6'5" and taller. The linemen they drafted are 6'5" and taller. Defense too. So that's the philosophy I'm starting. You know what I'm saying? Running back, 6'3", 220. You know what I'm saying? It's like the philosophy of big and long. You know what I'm saying? Our safety is 6'3".
Well, I mean, I think the Ravens kind of, they grab wide, over the, when Greg Roman was here, they grabbed wide receivers that could block, right? Because they knew that too. They knew that they was going to be running the ball a lot with the guys that they had, and the other thing too, another philosophy, and I don't know if it's necessarily a philosophy or just like a drafting kind of a drafting, not system, however you want to say it, right?
Mhm.
I feel like another thing that the Ravens do to hold back, some teams do best player available, some teams do, they draft based off of need. The Ravens will draft best player available to a fault, right? Like that's how they ended up with J.K. Dobbins when they had Mark Ingram and Gus Edwards, who Gus had just had a pretty good rookie season. Mark Ingram had just had a pretty good season before that. So it just it's one of those things where you kind of just have to I think as fans we don't always agree with it. We can see what we want and we know what we want and we want you to grab what we want, but for whatever reason, sometimes it don't always go that way. But
yeah, I just noticing them motherfuckers. That's just something I just noticed and shit by watching them and shit. But I got high expectations this year, right? I'm thinking 10-7, bro. But the one thing about the 10-7 is it's going to win our division. You know what I'm saying? So I don't think
you think that's so. You think 10-7 will win a division with Minnesota the way they play?
Yeah.
Because I mean that's the one. Like I think Detroit is sneaky to me, right? I think Detroit is a sneaky team. I don't know what it is. They they play hard and they compete, but something about them, like once they get going, they start to kind of like the Jaguars of last year. Like once they get going, they start to kind of stack things together. But I think with Minnesota's going to be good, right? Minnesota,
I don't know.
They're going to be.
You know how many games they was won? Those lucky ass games they had when they caught the joint on his ear and all that dumb stuff, man. Like, no,
Minnesota's going to be good. Man. You can't. My thing is,
their quarterback is Kirk Cousins.
You can't shut down talent, but so much. Now I do want to see because I can't remember. I'd have to look at their chart. But
T.J. Booker.
Well, remember they don't have Thielen anymore, and I think honestly, that's going to be a big loss, for them if they didn't replace him. Now I can't remember who they got in the draft, so I can't even tell you if they did, filling that need. But Adam Thielen was a guy who put up numbers.
But then they get rid of the quarterback too, ain't they? I mean the running back.
Yeah, I've heard some reports about that potentially getting rid of Dalvin Cook. I don't know why they would. Yeah, and if they do that, I feel like they're kind of
not going to do anything if they get rid of him. Hell yeah.
I think they're kind of in a rebuild at that point. I don't know why they would do that.
Exactly. Yeah, it's like you got somebody else behind him, some shit. He vicious, bro. He part of the reason why they was winning.
They got Jordan Addison and Justin Jefferson, but I don't know if Jordan Addison will be what Adam Thielen was, but Jordan Addison a rookie, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. He might. I don't know. I mean, he might. We'll see.
They lose the running back too. You talking about Kirk Cousins, bro?
Kirk Cousins be slinging that thing though. Come on,
we're gonna dog him this year. We're gonna dog him this year. Kirk
Cousins be doing his thing out there. Like Kirk Cousins can't win the big game, but Kirk Cousins gonna win the regular season. That's Kirk's MO.
True, but he don't make no mistakes like golf. But yeah, you can get him because he ain't running nowhere for damn sure. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Just like Cincinnati in y'all division, right?
Mm-hmm.
He not running. Now I don't know. He's sneaky. He'll run out that joint sometimes, but their quarterback, he not a running quarterback. He ain't going nowhere.
No, I mean, and that's the thing.
He's more of a threat than motherfucking what's his name doing Minnesota.
Well, that's the thing about it. Like the funny part is, like for whatever reason, I feel like defensively the Ravens play the Bengals really tough as long as they're healthy. Last year, I mean, they didn't do very much against the Ravens defense. With Marlon Humphrey and Marcus Peters and those boys out there.
I had motherfucking Huntley though.
Yeah,
y'all get motherfucking Jackson and come play, then y'all be all right.
He was hurt. He was hurt.
He got that bread though.
Sticking with it.
It was a good motherfucking discussion about them Bears and the Ravens, bro. You know what I'm saying, Doc?
Yeah.
You got some more you want to add on to what we've been talking about?
I mean, kind of my final point on. I'm excited, man. I think. I can't wait for it to come.
I think that's everybody now. Think about it.
Well, it's funny because I could, I was talking to one of my friends on another show before, and I was just kind of like, it'll be here before you know it. Like it's one of those things where it feel like it's forever away, but then you're gonna blink and it's gonna be August and you're gonna be ready for the preseason.
Hell
So it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be a good time. I'm excited. I think the Bears and the Ravens gonna be good. I'll be interested to see what kind of adjustments people try to make on Justin Fields, because he ain't been in the league but for so long. They won't, kind of, maybe they'll try to spook him, maybe they'll try to get some different coverages thrown at him, get some different blitzes or something like that.
I really think he's not gonna run as much. I think the running is gonna be still there where he should be dipping. He's just gonna be rolling out. Once he out there, he out there. You know what I'm saying? He ain't like no average quarterback. Once he in the open field, shit.
Yeah. I didn't realize he was taller than Lamar Jackson.
They fuck around running all.
I did not realize that. I thought Justin Fields was shorter than Lamar Jackson.
No, he a big young, about 230 or some shit, 35. Big. And he's straight dip. He ran a 4.3.
Yeah, well, because I think a lot of people are like, well, Justin Fields can't throw and all this, and I was trying to brush up on my Justin Fields film today, just to see, because I know a lot of people like to say that, and I don't necessarily believe it, but I'll brush up on my film before I give too much of a take on it. But
me personally, I don't care if he I know you've been watching Lamar since he been here, and I know you was just sold from the beginning, like you don't really give a fuck what nobody talking about. He my quarterback, period, until the end. You know what I'm saying? That's how I feel about Justin Fields. Like I seen enough. He the quarterback, motherfucker. Find some other players to work with. You know what I'm saying? Other than that, I get how you feel for real. Like, or he hearing people saying to this day they still saying he can't throw for the pop. You know what I'm saying?
Well, and it's different when you got a quarterback that's doubted. Because like I've always said, like if you ain't gonna stick up for him, then who is? And albeit, you got a whole fan base that'll probably stick up for him. But and that's kind of like the fun part about having a podcast too, because the national media they want to ramp up all these thoughts and opinions on Lamar Jackson and Justin Fields and what they can't do, and then when they prove you wrong, they move the goalpost and say, well, they can't do this now.
I hate that.
It's just one of those things, where it's like, I used to watch this YouTuber, and he used to always say, trust your eyes. And that's what I try to do, because when I like I said, I like Justin Fields a lot. I think Justin Fields is good. I think I'm excited to see him with some, real talent around him, good head coach too. Like I just, so a little bit of support from the fans too. I think it could be good, especially, having Aaron Rodgers out of that division, that's going to help too.
You best believe that. First game out the Bizox.
But even still, like when Minnesota, you never know what they're gonna do. That's the test right there. Minnesota is a test. Everybody else, I think, we'll see. But
only thing I worry about is Detroit. They got a good defense. I'm not worried about their offense at all. Defense.
You ain't worried about. Well, I was.
I don't know, man. My man ran for 100-something yards on their bitch ass last time. So I don't know.
They got guys, but some of them suspended for the first 6 weeks or whatever it is.
Oh yeah, we got fresh rookie running back that's gonna dominate anyway, so I ain't worried about nothing else. Roschon Johnson, baby. You know what I'm saying, dog? Rookie of the year coming on for sure. I don't know. That's some good stuff though, bro. You know what I'm saying, dog?
Yeah.
Touch bases next time.
Oh yeah, most definitely, man. I appreciate it.
We can dig into the Chicago Bears and the Ravens for sure even more because we have more info.
This was fun. This little, I feel like this third perspective, Flock Nation Speaks little collab is something that just, it be coming out of the blue, but it be there on a consistent basis though.
You know what I'm saying? That's for sure. But yeah, until the next time we do this,
Yep.
Which for sure it'd be OTAs for sure, and it'd be mandatory for sure. So the asses better be there,
They better be there. They can donate that money to me. You know what I mean?
10-7 for me. My man said 11. What'd you say?
I said 15-2.
Yep, that's what he said. 15-2.
15-2.